Welcome to the Trade Report Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw report and your spoilers for Superstars for this Thursday on the WWE Network. And don't forget, tonight, live on the WWE Network is your WWE main event. And I'll post the results on the SmackDown video. Well, new WWE signee Drake Younger appears in a video with Candice and Joey shows. On the episode below, I'll post a link right there for you. It's on YouTube. Booker T is booked for the May 9th Border City Wrestling event in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. And the next, this coming Sunday night's premiere of the new season of E's WWE Total Divas, which can also be found on the network as well. As stated, Nikki must adjust to her life without her boyfriend, wrestler John Cena, by her side. Summer Rae is included on the main roster. Eva Marie. Parents find out how her development, and now she must face their reactions to her decisions. And there's some videos courtesy of Diva Dirt that I'll be posting. There's several of them. I'll just do a list of them. From the Total Divas preview clip with Natalya talking about her match, or a match that she had with Summer Rae. Looks like there'll be two videos on that one. And I'll post that one. And then there's the second one will be the Bellas. And then the last one again will be Natalya. It'll be Natalya. And then Bellas. And then Natalya again. Ultimate Warrior announced on Twitter that Linda McMahon will be inducted him into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, as he wrote, "Fortune-telling pundits lack the integrity it takes to figure me out. I'm honored at Linda McMahon accepts my request to introduce hashtag WWE HOF 2014. For all the medicinal marijuana users and ADD crowd with half-ass functioning brains, introduce equals induct. One more time. Induct equals introduce. Got it? Unquote. What he said. People.com reports that former WWE diva Stacy Kiebler and tech entrepreneur Jared Pober were married in a surprise sunset ceremony on a beach in Mexico this past Saturday. The two had been planning the wedding for months, but surprised family members who were vacationing with them in Mexico. Stacy told People, quote, "My happiness is indescribable. Marriage is the ultimate bond of love and friendship. It means putting all your faith and trust into a person that you can't help but believe is your soulmate, someone who has all your best interests at heart, someone handpicked for you to help you grow and be the best person that you can be. Jared is all of this for me." Unquote. Well, she just recently, a couple months ago, got rid of George Cody. So, thank you for that. Wrestling legend Rick Steiner turned 53 years old on Monday, while Nikita Koloff turned 55, and former diva Melina turned 35. Hall of Famer Ernie Big Cat Ladd died on March 10th, 2007 at the age of 68 after a battle with colon cancer. He played pro football before making his switch to pro wrestling and had a legendary in-ring career, as well as working as the assistant booker of Bill Watts. I'll also be doing a small segment on this day in wrestling history on the SmackDown portion of my next video. It'll be for today and tomorrow. In other words, the 10th and 11th. Dino Bravo, real name Adolfo Bresciano, died on March 10th, 1993. He does have a Facebook fan page account that I'm a friend of. He died at the age of 44. He was found shot to death and was hit by 17 bullets. Oh, don't you think that was a mass murder? 17? A little bit overdoing it. Nikita Koloff, again, real name Nelson Scott Simpson, turned 55 on Sunday. He was born March 9th, 1959. Retired pro wrestler Rick Steiner Real name of Rob Rexiner. Turned 53 on Sunday, March 9th, 1961. Therefore, I got the correct date. So I did it twice. Of course, Molina turned 35. She was born March 9th in 1979. Former Nexus member Michael Tarver turned 37 on this past Saturday. He was born March 8th, 1977. Tarver continues to work independently, primarily in Florida. The dark main event from Monday Night Raw was supposedly John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Batista in six-man action versus Kane, Alberto Del Rio, and Bray Wyatt. I haven't got the results on that as of yet. WWE's latest 30-second Fury video looks at Michelle McCool's Faithbreaker. I'll post a link for that. Okay, here's a possible WrestleMania spoiler. As advertised, Sheamus versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight title is scheduled, as well as Big Show versus The Shield in a handicap match, advertised for April 27th, live event in Peoria, Illinois. I did find it on Lords of Pain, but I think it has been removed. I noted that WWE officials, including Triple H, addressed the NXT roster at the most recent NXT tapings and told them that the NXT product would be featured more prominently now that the WWE Network is launched. They were also told that as a result, fewer people will be called up quickly. It's being told to them as a positive that NXT will be pushed hard and thus they will all be bigger stars. Batista was involved in an incident over this past weekend at ringside with a local radio DJ by the name of Cam Carson at a live event in Winnipeg over the weekend. It was believed that the incident was planned as Carson's employer was the main local sponsor for the event. Well, according to a fan in attendance, the two began arguing before Batista's match against Big Show. When Batista turned to enter the ring, the man hit Batista in the back. This caused Batista to shove him back into his chair. Carson tried hopping the rail, but security stopped him and talked to him. After the match, Batista flipped Carson off, which led to Carson trying to hop the rail again, but this time he was escorted out by security. Word is that the incident was not planned by WWE, it's just that Carson was a little bit intoxicated. He was legitimately escorted out of the building by security after the incident. A mother of two kids wrote to Carson on Twitter and said that they were trampled on during the incident. She noted that her 11-year-old son left the arena with a limp and was forced to sit on the bench during his local playoff hockey game the next day. Carson apologized to the mother. He says he will speak on the incident Monday morning to stay tuned for an update. So I haven't heard about the update because it's now Tuesday morning. CM Punk will be appearing on that next Sunday's episode of AMC's The Talking Dead. Of course, this show follows The Walking Dead, as Punk was referred to as Superfan Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, by host Chris Hardwick. WWE made a minor change to the NXT title belt after Adrian Neville won it at the debut of Arrival on the network. Instead of the regular WWE logo on the side plates, the belt now features the WWE Network logo on the side plate. The Rock noted on Twitter that he will be revealing the trailer for his Hercules movie in 2 weeks. He called it powerful. The first WWE Comics trade paperback, Money in the Bank, will be written by Mick Foley and released on June the 17th. I reported earlier about Hornswoggle being in attendance to the premiere of The Muppets, Most Wanted in Hollywood, as it was last night. As he has a role in the movie, apparently he plays a prisoner in a Russian prison. That's the part where I didn't update y'all on. Former NWO member Buff Bagwell spoke recently with Just Shoot. Here are some of the highlights. Here's what he thinks about John Cena. I don't think he's a Rock. I don't think he's a Sting. I don't think he's a Goldberg. I don't think he's a Stone Cold. I don't think he's bigger than Buff Bagwell. I really do. Now, mainly because of the way they pushed him, I give him credit that being bigger than me. When you lay out the facts, no, he's not as big as The Rock. No, he's not as big as Stone Cold. No, he's not as big as these other guys I'm talking about. Then again, you give me the same push, I think I'll be just as big as John Cena. He's not that cornerstone guy. He's not that super mega superstar that The Rock has become. He's not that super mega superstar Stone Cold has become. He's just WWE's #1 guy, and with a little bit of help, a lot of guys could be that guy. Not a CM Punk guy. He's just got the look. He's got the ability, and he was at the right place at the right time to be their poster child. Now, here's his thoughts on CM Punk. He's too small. That's why they kept him. And The Rock, as far apart as they kept them as far apart as they could until they had to wrestle, because when you really stand Rock against CM Punk in the ring, you just don't look like it fits. You got 260-pound guy from The Rock down to a buck, maybe a buck, 85 pounds CM Punk. Nothing against the buck, maybe 85. But, TNA's got a division called the X Division for guys like that. I think that's a good thing to have, but as far as being the World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk should not be. He's just not big enough. He don't look the part. He's hurt. I bet if you ask him and he told you the truth, he's hurt 1,000,000 times. Wow, you're not as big as I thought you were. That's not good for pro wrestling. You've got to be big, to make it believable, to make it more realistic. I don't think he's that. He just doesn't carry that kind of power. Notice in this article, he does not speak about Rey Mysterio, who had the same type of thing in WCW, as well as WWE, WWF, when he had the titles. Does Bob think that anything can save TNA? Of course not. I don't think there is. That's why I'm not mad. They didn't hire me. Hiring Buff Bagwell isn't going to save TNA. Hiring The Rock isn't going to save TNA. So why put out a couple more $100,000 a year when it's not going to save the company? I understand their position, but I still don't understand keeping the show on TV. Either shut it down or do hire Buff Bagwell that may switch the channels a little more. May make something happen. It may make somebody want to come over. Then you got The Rock and Buff Bagwell. Maybe a Goldberg on TNA. You've got just some heavy players. You just can't have match after match people who's this guy here? What's that guy's name? You got to have value, and they don't. TNA, were at the Gwinnett Center about 6 months ago, and I drove up there and walked in. They just ate me up, and oh God, you look great. Looks like you haven't aged a bit. All this stuff. Me and Eric did text back and forth, and all of a sudden, guys started getting fired. It was the same old story. TNA's going under, and it was over again. I just can't imagine being in the wrestling business. You've got Buff Bagwell living in Atlanta. You're running a Gwinnett show, which is 20 minutes from my house. Why would you not have Buff Bagwell come in and get beat? Put me on TV. Beat me, but why not put me on TV? People know me better than they know other guys that they're beating. Why not get a better rating and beat me? I'm not asking to win. I'm asking to be part of the show and help them build a product. Okay, that was the end of his segment. Hey, now, seen in this video, Zack Ryder has a new video debuting, and it's called Zack Ryder's Last Resort. I'll be posting that link. This is not something done through WWE, as Ryder is doing it himself. Well, he was doing his own previously as well. The internet champion of the world. Ryder talks about how he rose to popularity, but says his dream has turned into a nightmare over the past 2 years. Ryder says he went from fist pumping to people asking who he is. Ryder says he is back at the bottom and could let his contract expire or fight back. Ryder says it's time for the Ryder evolution. DDP posted the following video, posted a link looking at Cody Hall. Cody was nominated by Pro Wrestling Illustrated for the 2013 Rookie of the Year, and you can watch the video. Brie Bella tweeted against Stephanie McMahon after the Daniel Bryan versus Triple H match on Raw. She was quoted by saying, "I must say, at Stephanie McMahon, my husband at WWE, Daniel Bryan, is more of a man than yours, and soon enough, you'll see. Hashtag Raw, hashtag Yes Movement." The rating for Friday's SmackDown was 2.16, up a bit from the 2.05 rating the week before. And as noted, Friday's show drew 3.142 million viewers, up 12% from the previous week. Kane vs. Big Show has been announced for Friday's SmackDown. And then they take the following matches from Memphis to air on Superstars for Thursday Network. Sin Cara versus Alberto Del Rio. Fandango versus Dolph Ziggler. As Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips were on commentary, Alberto Del Rio defeated Sin Cara. A fair match with Del Rio following his mini super kick finisher after Sin Cara misses a swanton bomb. And your match number 2, Dolph Ziggler defeated Fandango with Summer Rae. Summer Rae wore far too much clothing in the lives, the reporter. And the match was decent. Both guys deserve so much more. Ziggler won following a zigzag. Raw pre-show kicked off with Josh Matthews welcoming us fans file into the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Matthews is joined by Booker T, A-Rye, and Jimmy Mouths-Out Hart, of course, Memphis, Tennessee. Jimmy says it's good to be in his hometown and good to be with WWE. Well, wherever Hogan is, we're going to find Jimmy Hart. Big Show and Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton and Batista is announced for tonight. Or that was last night. The panel hyped Hulk Hogan's announcement, and then they go outside to Renee Young, who's waiting on Hulk Hogan to arrive in the building. And we go back to the panel to talk about The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. Then we get a video package. Panel talks more about Lesnar in the street. And Sin Cara makes his way out for a Superstars match. Alberto Del Rio was out next. The panel talked about the Sheamus versus the Christian rivalry next. Boring! It's revealed that Christian versus Sheamus will take place, with fans picking the stipulation for Raw tonight. We go to Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips on commentary for the Cara versus Del Rio Superstars match. We go back to the panel for the hype on the John Cena versus Bray Wyatt feud. We come back from WrestleMania Rewind promo. We get a promo for the Triple H versus Daniel Bryan feud and what happened at Raw last week. More hype for the panel from tonight's show and from last night's show and WrestleMania. We go back to Renee. She's already spoke to Hogan. She says, but he didn't have much to say about the announcement. Renee stopped Sheamus and asked him about the stipulation for his match against Christian. Sheamus says it doesn't matter because the match will end the same. We go back to more promos. The panel hyped the main event. Superstars finishing up in the ring. The Superstars match is finishing up in the ring. Michael Cole welcomes his way out to mostly booze. JBL was out to a big pop at a fourth. Jerry the King Lawler, hometown crowd. As the panel wraps up the pre-show, Lawler is wearing tuxedo t-shirt. Panel gave him a standing ovation. Then we see Hulkster watching backstage as the pre-show ends. Tonight's Raw, last night's Raw, opened up with Michael Cole welcoming us. We go to the ring and Justin Roberts introduces WrestleMania 30 host Hulk Hogan, and now he comes to a big pop. Hogan talks about some of his WrestleMania matches against Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, and the Ultimate Warrior. Not in that order, but anyway, they were announced. Hogan says every time he watches the match with Andre, he gets amped up, and when he slammed Andre, it gets crazier and the goosebumps still go up and down the python. Hogan says he has a historic idea. An idea that was so intense he couldn't wait to come to Raw to tell all the Hulkamaniacs. Instead of brother, he was a Hulkamaniac. Hogan announced that over the top 30-man Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The winner will receive an Andre the Giant bronze or goldish memorial trophy, and Hogan shows us a video on the big screen of the trophy. Hogan has one question. What you gonna do at WrestleMania when WrestleMania 30 when Hulkmania and the memory of Andre the Giant runs wild on you? Well, interruption by John Cena, and out he comes to a mixed reaction. Cena says it's damn good to have Hogan back in WWE. He talks about WrestleMania 3 and how he knew Hulkamania would live forever. Cena does, and what you gonna do? And the fans boo. Cena says that he's going to be the first to enter his name into that battle royal. The lights go out, a lantern lights up, and out comes the Wyatt family. Wyatt takes a seat in his rocket chair at ringside. He says, pride has always been in his favorite sin. It has the power to blind even the strongest men. Those who claim to be immortal. Bray mocks Cena and Hogan's catchphrases. Bray says they are both liars, and their fool's pride allows them to prey upon the weak and fill them with blind hope. And Bray says hope is dead, as will be Cena's legacy. Bray says if Cena looks down at him, he will see an enemy. If he looks up at him, he will see a friend. If he looks straight at him, he will see a god. Bray holds his arms out. Cena says Bray talks some weird stuff. Cena says he sees a homeless man when he looks at Bray, not a god. Cena says he has two other bums with him and a rocking chair from Cracker Barrel. Cena tells Bray to prove that he is somebody. Cena tells Hogan he might not be able to make that battle royal. Cena challenges Bray for WrestleMania 30 and says he will get the ass whooping of a lifetime. There goes your PG ratings, and Bray says it's all fun and games with Cena until Cena's caught in the spider web. As Bray drops the mic and the Wyatt family approaches the ring, Cena and Hogan get ready for a fight with Eric Rowan and Luke Harper as we go to commercial. Hogan didn't actually fight in the match. It was just Eric Rowan versus John Cena. Back from the break, Rowan's in control of Cena. Hogan watching from ringside as Harper and Bray will watch from the ramp. Rowan keeps Cena on the mat. Rowan with a big pump handle backbreaker for a 2 count. Cena fought back and leaped on to Rowan, who caught him in midair. Rowan with a big fall-away slam as Hogan looked on. Rowan with a splash in the corner. Rowan with another 2 count. Rowan caught Cena again and ragdolled him with a big bear hug. Cena fought out and Rowan climbed him. Clubbed him to the mat. Rowan with a big slam. As Cena countered and moved and rolled Rowan up for the quick pinfall. I don't know where. After the bell, Bray got up from his chair and was very upset. Hogan celebrates with Cena as they do the type going to the crowd all the way around the ring. We'll have you raise it. As Hogan raises his arm in celebration, Bray sends Harper and Rowan to the ring. Hogan and Cena get ready for a fight. Bray calls Rowan and Harper back off the apron, and Hogan talks junk to Bray about Cena's WrestleMania challenge. The Wyatt's leave as Hogan and Cena celebrate to Hogan's music again. Coleslaw plugs the WWE app and tells us to apply the new update so we can vote for Sheamus versus Christian stipulation. 2 of 3 falls count anywhere, or a Memphis Street fight. Of course, it's in Memphis, so what are you going to think it's going to be? It's a street fight. Related shows. Also still to come, Batista and Randy Orton versus Big Show and Daniel Bryan. Did not. What? Yeah, I think it did. I don't remember. Well, anyway. Yeah, it did. Bryan plus a appearance by The Undertaker, which was coming up shortly. And then we'll see the Authority heading to the ring as we go to commercial. Back from the break, out comes Triple H and Stephanie McMahon to run their mouth on the stage. Stephanie says Daniel Bryan attacked her husband last week and then suffered the consequences. A pedigree, she says. Movie stars? Not swimming pools. This is the WWE. Well, she says his actions are grounds for immediate termination, but they've decided to lead by example. Stephanie apologizes because that's what is best for business. She says that they recognize that there is value in Bryan's brand. Not like Randy Orton or Batista or Triple H's brand, but valued nonetheless. Stephanie says Bryan has a niche following. She says Bryan must return the favor and apologize to them. Or she says it's time for Bryan to admit that he was wrong and not man enough to be in the ring with Triple H. Not now, not certainly not at WrestleMania 30. She says Triple H is way above Bryan professionally, figuratively, and then she comments, this is how she did it. Professionally, figuratively, and then literally. Thinking about Bryan's size. Well, Stephanie says as long as Bryan can apologize tonight, they can move forward. If not, there will be severe consequences. Possibly even firing, she said. She hopes we enjoy the rest of the show. Well, I think she stole that from Dixie Carter for TNA during the pay-per-view from this past Sunday. New Age Outlaws come out and hug the Authority on their way to the ring in street clothes. Unfortunately, not able to wrestle until Road Dogg gets clearance from his injury. They jump on commentary as we go back to commercial. The Usos versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. Rybaxel. Back from the break as Ryback is in the ring with Curtis Axel. Ryback and Axel are in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30 as well as during the match. Ryback announces his entering. I don't know about Curtis Axel. Out next came WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos for a non-title match. Ryback started things off with Jimmy as they went at it. Jimmy got a big arm drag takedown. Axel tagged in, but Uso dropped him with a big right hand. Uso with a big shoulder, but Axel threw him face first into the middle rope. Ryback worked over Uso and rolled him back in after tagging. Ryback got a big splash and a 2 count. Ryback with a suplex and some stomp before tagging back in Axel. Axel got a headlock. Jay tags in and takes out Axel. Jay kicked out from under Axel's leg and knocks Ryback off the apron. Jay with a big Samoan drop on Axel. Ryback misses the clothesline and eats a super kick from Jay. Jay with another super kick to Axel as well. Jay ran the ropes and leaped out onto Ryback, tagging in Jimmy at the same time, and Jimmy nails a super flash splash on Axel for the win. Winner, Fatal Champions, Usos. I don't know if it's non-title or what. Kane was backstage with a Shield. He brings up their second loss to the Wyatt family from last week. He says they aired their dirty laundry unprofessionally on SmackDown. Dean Ambrose asked if there was a point. Kane says that they have proven to be a valuable asset in the past, but he's taking it upon himself to light a fire under them to see if they are still an asset. He says that the first cracks appeared when they lost the tag titles to Cody Rhodes and Goldust. And that's it. It will be Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns versus the Rhodes brothers tonight. Rollins brings up Kane getting pinned by Bryan and knocked out by Big Show. Kane says he's given them the chance to step up, and tells them to go do it. Reigns makes a reference to taking out any demons that get in his way. And then we go to commercial. And we get Jack Swagger versus Big E again. Back from the break, and Jack Swagger waits in the ring. As WWE Intercontinental Champion Big E makes his way out, where we see Cesaro as a opponent at ringside. Swagger tells him, I got this. Well, I guess he did during this match, because Swagger took the Big E to the corner with Big D with a knee. Big E with a big shoulder thrust, and then another. Then Big E mounted Swagger with a right hand in the corner. Swagger got a big slam out of the corner and closed out for 2. Big E is revealed for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and another Wild Wrestling segment. He will be entering that. He said he would be honored to enter that Rumble. Swagger kept up the attack and went for another pin attempt. Big E came back with a clothesline and a belly-to-belly suplex. Big E ran the ropes, but Swagger took him out, took his knee. And Zeb calls for the Patriot Lock, but Swagger chokes Big E on the ropes. Zeb wanted Cesaro to hit a cheap shot on Big E, but Cesaro didn't do it. Swagger tried for the distraction. Well, went up to ask her what was going on. Well, he gets rolled up from behind. Schoolboy roll up. Big E wins. After the match, Cesaro laughed at Swagger. Got to his feet. Swagger goes to the floor and got in Cesaro's face. They have words, and Zeb gets in between them. They put the blame on each other. Zeb got upset and says it's both of their faults. And Zeb has already taken off his jacket, thrown it on the ground. Zeb says this has gone far enough. He's sick and tired. Zeb like I said, they slammed it on the floor. He told them to shake hands, but they wouldn't. They finally shake hands, and Cesaro squeezes Swagger's hand. And Swagger drops to his knees and finally yanks his hand away. Up next segment, The Undertaker. Then back to commercial, they go. Back from the break, out comes Undertaker. Taker made his grand entrance, and the fans cheered him as he took the mic. There's a purple light over the ring. Fans chant for the Taker before he can speak. Paul Heyman appeared on stage, and he apologized if his presence has updated Taker's train of thought. Heyman introduces himself to Taker, but at least calls him sir. Heyman praises the streak. Heyman points out that Mr. WrestleMania Shawn Michaels himself could never win 2 WrestleMania victories in a row. Heyman says similar facts about Triple H, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and John Cena. Well, one of them had 3 wins. Couldn't get the third, 3 wins. Got 3 wins, couldn't win the 4th. And 2 of them had 4 wins, couldn't get the 5th. And Austin's name got the big pop. Heyman praises the streak again. And Heyman asked Taker not to step in the ring with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 because the WWE fans need to worship the streak. Heyman then says he worships Taker and the streak after last year. Heyman says Lesnar will end the streak even though he's stepping into the unknown at WrestleMania. Heyman says it's unknown that Taker needs to fear, not Lesnar. Heyman says if Taker steps in the ring with Lesnar, the streak will be conquered. Taker then tells Heyman to take a message to Lesnar about the fear of the unknown being the greatest fear of them all. Taker then tells Heyman to tell Lesnar that if he shows up at WrestleMania, he will. Taker's music hits into the segment as Heyman exited. So there comes segment. Batista and Orton versus Show and Bryan. Up next, Brotherhood versus The Shield. Back to commercial. The Brotherhood versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns was up next. The Shield. Back from the breakout comes Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Shield was out next to the crowd. Of course, back and forth to start. Brotherhood took control of Rollins and worked him over. Rollins drops Cody in the corner. Tags in Reigns. Reigns drops Cody and covers for 2. Reigns took Cody back to the corner and beat him down. Reigns with more offense on the ropes. Rollins tags in for a big right hand off the top. Rollins took a takedown and a knee to the face for a 2 count. Reigns came back in but misses a big right hand in the corner. Goldust tags in and unloaded the clotheslines on Reigns. Goldust with big right hand and a shot to Rollins. Goldust nails a spine buster for a 2 count. Goldust then gets a crossbody on both men. Cody and Goldust send Rollins and Reigns to the floor. They both leap out and clean house as Ambrose looks on and approaches. We go to commercial with Ambrose threatening to get involved. Back from the break. Reigns has slammed Goldust for another 2 count. During the break, Reigns hits a big Samoan drop on Goldust. Reigns drops Goldust with a big right hand. Rollins tags in, keeps Goldust grounded. Rollins with a jumping forearm in the corner, and Reigns runs around and hits the trademark drop kick to the head. Reigns drags Goldust to the corner, and Goldust finally moves. He got up and fought back, but Reigns dropped him with an elbow for a 2 count. Rollins came back, and Goldust goes at it with him. Rollins with a kick to the back of the head as Reigns tagged back in. Reigns would kick to the corner and a running clothesline. Goldust caught Reigns with a big power slam out of nowhere. Rollins tags in and stops Cody from coming in. Goldust kicks him away and tags in Cody. Cody unloads on Rollins. Rollins rolls him up for a 2 count. Cody dropped down with a big right hand. Cody's about to move and hits a disaster kick on Reigns. Rollins ran into a boot. Cody nails a moonsault on Rollins for a 2 count. Cody blocked the kick and nails a right hand. Cody with a muscle buster for a close 2 count as Reigns breaks up the pin. Goldust drop kicks Reigns to the floor. Rollins sends Goldust out. Cody and Rollins collide. Reigns and Goldust come back in. Reigns spears Goldust. Cody dumps Reigns to the floor. Rollins blocks a crossroads and blocks a disaster kick. Rollins powerbombed Cody back into the corner and stomps on the back of his head for the win. The Shield wins the match. After the match, Ambrose comes in to celebrate. The Shield stand united as they go to replay. Still to come segment again. Sheamus versus Christian, and the voting is open on the WWE app for the stipulation. Bella Twins versus AJ Lee and Tamina. Back for the break, and the Bellas are already in the ring as Tamina and the Divas champion made their way out. Natalya was on commentary. Nikki started things off with Tamina, and they lock up. Nikki took it to the ropes, and they got a break. Tamina shoved Nikki twice. Nikki came back with a swinging fist and a clothesline. They traded shots, and Nikki tagged in Brie for some double teaming. Brie with a running knee to the face. AJ distracted Brie. Brie turned around to a big kick to the face from Tamina. The kick knocked Brie out of the ring, and the referee counted. Started counter out. Tamina came out and throws her back in. Tamina drops Brie and covered for a 2 count. Tamina kept control of the match of Brie and tagged in AJ for some double teaming. AJ dropped Brie with a kick and covered for a 2 count. Brie blocked a DDT attempt, but AJ turned it around into a chokehold. Brie entered towards Nikki, but they got the break. And the hold in. Brie drop kicked AJ in the face. Nikki tagged in and clothesline AJ. The AJ pin. Brie leaped out and took down Tamina on the floor. AJ kicked Brie in the face. AJ with a Black Widow on Nikki, but she countered it. Nikki with a rack attack for the win. After the match, Bella stood over AJ and Nikki with one of the Bellas went and put the title over her shoulder. Natalya got up and stood on the apron. They stared each other down, and Nikki posed with the title. Cole set up a preview for USA's network. We see what happened earlier with the Wyatt family, John Cena and Hulk Hogan. Back from the break, and Coleslaw plugs the WWE Network, and we see what happened earlier with the Wyatt family, John Cena and Hulk Hogan. Then we go to the ring. Out comes Daniel Bryan. Bryan says the Yes Movement is alive right here in Memphis. He talks about Stephanie apologizing earlier, and the crowd boos. Nobody believed it was sincere. Bryan says the authority wants to scare him into falling in line. He says he should have kicked Triple H in the face a long time ago. Bryan says he will not back down and will fight. Bryan says if they want him to apologize for standing up for himself, he's got one word for them. No. Then the no orgasm chant starts. And we get Bryan saying it ends tonight. He says everyone is tired of Triple H. He says Triple H doesn't listen to anyone, but tonight they're going to make it so Triple H has to listen. Bryan says the Yes Movement is going to occupy Raw tonight, and this was my opinion of what the fans were taking over meant a couple weeks ago. And Bryan says he's not leaving the ring until he gets what he wants. So the WrestleMania match and that's with the WrestleMania Triple H match. And with a stipulation. Well, my prediction was right. Bryan says he's not alone. He's got the Yes Movement. Bryan says it's unlawful, dangerous, and subject to prosecution, but he doesn't care anymore. Bryan says he talked to members of the Yes Movement earlier today and wants them to come down. A bunch of fans then interrogated the WWE wrestling ring in Bryan's white t-shirts. And they all come over to barricade into the ring. We go to commercial. I was thinking it's like, remember the Revenge of the Nerds movie? A lot of these people were like wearing glasses and the synopsis of that. Okay, back from the break in the whole ringside area, and the entire ring was filled with Bryan fans wearing his t-shirts. Bryan gets a big yes orgasm chant going on. Bryan says the authority can't ignore them forever. He tells Triple H to come out and answer the challenge. Stephanie and Triple H then come out on stage, and the no orgasm chants among the fans Bryan has with him. Triple H congratulates Bryan on having his own Occupy Raw movement and insults him. Triple H then said that this is the part where reality comes crashing down. He says they all have about 30 seconds to get out of the ring before they are all arrested. Then a louder no orgasm chant comes out, and the Triple H counts down on his watch. He's not actually looking at his watch. He's wearing a suit. Go figure. Triple H picks on one of the boys for being fat and calls them losers. He calls for security. Bryan asks Triple H, what if everyone in the arena walked out of the parking lot right now and I would have been one of those with them, demanding my money back? How's that? And he says Triple H could have wall in front of an arena of empty chairs and they will set up their own ring in the parking lot. Triple H tells security to throw them all out. And it's only two guys. So imagine two guys trying to go down there and arrest about 500 people. They walk down to the crowd, turn back around. Stephanie then walks down and yells at them to clear the ring. She yells all the fans are being manipulated by Bryan, and they continue to chant no as she yells. Trying to get over her high-pitched sound. Stephanie says they're wrapped up in a power trip and power can go to your head. She tells them that Bryan isn't worth it. Bryan says that they underestimated the power of the people. Bryan says Stephanie doesn't own anything. Bryan says they own the ring, not her. Fans chant yes now. Triple H then says this ends now. He says to get the next match ready, hit someone's music and let's go. Well, Damien Sandow's music hits and he's immediately coming down and out. But the fans are chanting no and blocking the ring. Bryan again tells Sandow to come on and join the yes movement. Sandow turns around and out comes Triple H down to the ring. Triple H yells at Sandow to go to the ring. Stephanie comes out and tells Sandow not to disrespect her husband. She tells Bryan not to disrespect her family name. She says this became hers, and when she was born, she does own Bryan. Stephanie yells for them to get out. She loses it and screams at him. Bryan says, no, we are not leaving until we get what we want. A match with Triple H at WrestleMania. Fans chant yes now, and Bryan says that they won't get the show back until he agrees. Triple H says the truth is he actually likes Bryan. Triple H said he tried to protect Bryan from everything that would happen when he was successful. Triple H said he's protected Bryan since SummerSlam, and now this happens. Triple H says he's not fighting Bryan at WrestleMania for his own good because he will end Bryan. Triple H says Bryan to be careful for what he wishes for and accepts the challenge. Triple H tells Bryan to shut up and get out of the ring and walks off. But Bryan stops him while he's still in the ring. Bryan says he misspoke. This is not all he wants. Bryan says the stipulation he wants what really want him to compete for the title. He proposes that if he beats Triple H, he gets added to Batista versus Orton main event. So becoming the triple threat main event. Triple H charges ring, but security holds him back. He agrees to Bryan's demand. So to come segment, Sheamus versus Christian for your main event, and back to commercial. Back from the break, and we see what just happened with Daniel Bryan. His fans and authority. Jerry King Lawler is in the ring to a big pop and Nelson stipulation for Sheamus versus Christian, as fans on the WWE app voted for a Memphis Street fight. And it begins now. Sheamus was out first, followed by Christian. Crew set up for a set of drums and other musical instruments at ringside. A bunch of different types of guitars. Christian strikes first, but Sheamus takes him to the corner. Sheamus ends up sending Christian over the top. Sheamus falls and sends him into the barrier. Sheamus slams Christian's face into an announce table and then sends him into the ring post. Sheamus grabbed the guitar, but Christian ducked it and he smashes it on the ring post. Before he smashed it on the ring post, he actually acted like he was playing it at first. And then Christian with right hands. Christian grabbed the guitar of his own and jabs it with Sheamus. It kind of bends a little bit. Christian gets sent over the steel steps. Sheamus continues and chases Christian up the ramp. There wasn't much to this. His knees didn't hit the ramp. He just banged the steps and jumped over. Well, Christian shoved Sheamus off the ramp down to the floor. Christian then went to the stage and hit the big tornado DDT on the concrete as we got a commercial. As the referees are counting them out, they went to commercial. But after the break, they're back in the ring. Well, obviously, they both got up before 10 count. Christian with kendo sticks. Shots, and there was a picture on somebody's Facebook account and some dirt sheets of how it looked after the match. Christian got a 2 count with more kendo stick shots. Sheamus finally fought back, but Christian hit a knee to the gut, took him down. Christian came off the second rope, but a kendo stick, but Sheamus knocked him out. In midair, Sheamus with a big clothesline and another, and then a third, and Sheamus with a thrust in the corner and a high knee. Sheamus kept up the attack and grabbed another kendo stick. Christian blocked it and came off the top. Sheamus caught him and dropped it for a 2 count. Christian turned around on the apron and they struggled for the kendo stick. Sheamus took it and unloaded on Christian with it. Sheamus nailed the white noise for a 2 count. Sheamus with forearms with a 10 count, 11 count, 17 count. I think it's what it was when I counted. On the apron as Sheamus brought Christian back in with a power slam and ready for the brogue kick. Christian rolls out of the ring and pulls Sheamus, but gets yanked into the ring post. Sheamus with an Irish curse backbreaker off the steel steps. Sheamus rolls Christian into the ring, tosses some steel chairs in the ring. Sheamus then grabs a bass drum, one is on bottom, and set it down and came in the ring. He put that in the corner and tried to throw Christian into it. I was thinking it was going to be like a head first baseball slide into it, but it got blocked. Christian grabbed a chair and hit Sheamus with it. Christian stacked a few chairs on Sheamus and hit the frog splash. Well, he bounced off the frog splash from a 2 count. Christian grabbed the bass drum, and you know what's going to happen. Low kick right through the drum for the win. Cole talked more about the WWE app and the network. Brad Manager talking about with Batista backstage when Randy Orton walked up. So this was another match that I forgot about. The Authority was left in the building and they were instructing Batista and Orton to put their differences aside for tonight. Backstage segment, Orton says he's willing if Batista is. Batista smart and walks off. He went, and walks off as they go to commercial. Back from the break, and out they come comes Lana to the stage. She speaks in Russian, introduces Alexander Rusev. Again, their BS, Russian crap. We see footage from Hulk Hogan's WrestleMania announcement from earlier and the Rumble. We get a promo from the Wyatt family on John Cena. Luke Harper speaks first, and then Bray Wyatt. Big Show and Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. Batista was up next. We go to the ring, and out comes Big Show. Back to commercial, back from the ring, and out comes Daniel Bryan. Batista was out next, followed by the world champion Randy Orton. The bell rings, and then we go at it. Bryan takes out Orton. Early on to the floor, we go to commercial again, and the fans chanting for Bryan. Back from the break, Bryan's in control. Orton turns around, tags in Batista, and Orton keep tagging others to keep Bryan down. Batista nails the suplex and hits Bryan on the apron. Batista slams Bryan into the apron and rolls him back in. Batista runs into a big boot, but clotheslines Bryan for a 2 count. Orton tags back in and hits Bryan with headbutts and some more stomps. Big Show finally tags in and unloads on Batista. Show with a side slam. Show climbs in the corner, but Orton cuts him off. Batista hits Show from behind and takes his leg out. Batista and Orton are working together. Orton tags back in and stomps away on Show. Orton with a big boot to the face for a 2 count. Batista goes back in with more shots to Show. Batista with a big spear. Orton and Bryan tag back in. Bryan with an uppercut and a clothesline. Bryan knocks Batista off the apron. Bryan with kicks to Orton's chest. Then Bryan nails a roundhouse for a 2 count. Bryan climbs to the top and kicks Batista to the floor. Bryan misses the headbutt on Orton. Orton rolls Bryan up for a 2 count. Bryan applies the Borgasm lock, but Batista makes a save. Show then comes in and hits Batista, but catches a RKO. Orton goes for RKO, but Bryan moved and nailed Batista, accidentally spared him. Batista goes back down, and Orton says Bryan in the corner. Orton with a draping DDT on Bryan. Bryan blocks an RKO and rolls Orton up for a 2 count. Bryan nails a flying knee for the win. The winner, Daniel Bryan and Big Show. After the match, Bryan chants with the fans and poses in the turnbuckle to point up the WrestleMania sign as Raw goes off the air, celebrating. Well, the backstage pass post-show opened with Bryan celebrating with the fans. The panel talks about Bryan getting his match, and we see him slapping hands with the fans on the way out. The panel then talked about the Yes Movement. Jimmy Hart says he's never seen anything like it. We get a look back at how Bryan got Triple H to give him the match. Tom Phillips interviewed some of the fans involved in the Yes segment. The panel talked more about what happened. Renee was backstage with Bryan. He said, yes, he says the people have the power and this is his dream. He talks about being Triple H and then getting a title shot. Bryan says he's going to make the most out of the opportunity that he can. Then they go back to the panel to talk about Raw. We see Renee Young interviewed from earlier when she caught up with Hulk Hogan and John Cena. They said they felt like a kid again. Hogan and Cena were both excited about being in the ring with each other. Hogan says he gets to live through Cena now and has his back. Jack. Hogan feels sorry for Bray when Cena is done with him. Hogan says if the Wyatt family stumbles toward him as the host, they may get something in return. The panel then talks about Bray Wyatt as we see his promo from Raw. Then the panel talks more about the Wyatt family and plugs tomorrow night's live main event and Friday SmackDown tapings, and Matthews plugs SmackDown's pre-show and backstage passion and post-show that's on the network, and that's it. Thanks for viewing. Peace out.